Radio Lewis. Local webcasting for a worldwide audience.
Hello, you're listening to Radio Lewis where the music matters. My name's Steve Brooks and this is Vapour Trails. Yes, what a cracking way to start the show. Yes, welcome to Vapour Trails number 65. And yes, that was Arthur Conley and Sweet Soul Music from 1967, which is taken from the compilation of choice this week. This is Soul, which is the choice of Bob Laird. And as Bob said, that was a terrific one back in the old mod days. And it was a German import, strangely enough, on the Atlantic record label. Oh, we've got two more tracks from This Is Soul coming up later on in the show. And it's a quite epic show today. So strap yourselves down because it's going to be a long one. And yes, I think we've got well over an hour and a half's worth of requests to go through. So that was a compilation of choice. The theme of this week's show is tracks from great debut albums. So it was kind of like not necessarily classic albums that are listed in various magazines or whatever, but just ones that mean a lot to yourselves. So first up, from Night of a Thousand Candles, which was the Men They Couldn't Hang's first album in 1985. This is a request of Alan Walker, and this is Walking, Talking.
Well, it's nothing I can tell you that you already know. I'd like to tell you something, but I won't. Oh, I think I'll waste my time with you. I got much better things to do. Like walking, talking, singing to myself. Walking through the country, campfires. Dodging ring of pine hills, blazing on the grass. And saving my summer hours. Well, I'm fed up with smoking. I'm through the lies.
Ah, nice one. Cheers, Al. Yes, The Men They Couldn't Hang from Night of the Thousand Candles and Walking Talking. Also going to give a shout out to Al's partner, Joe, and also to Swill, who's the lead singer on that track. And, of course, Swill, When We Were All Allowed Out. Do you remember that? Oh, it seems such a long time ago now. Yes, he came in and did a live spot with us. So, yes, Swill, friend of the show. Anyway, moving along. Next one's for John Pollard. Oh, this is brilliant. I love this. This is The Stairs, and from their debut, and I think one and only album, as it turned out to be, Mexican R&B. This is the very marvellous Weed Bus. The Stairs there, and absolutely no familiarity to the Who's Magic Bus at all. Incidentally, the 147 bus that's mentioned there used to run along part of Liverpool 8 up to a Victorian house, which is apparently where the Stairs and other people used to go and get their weed and other gardening implements. Anyway, moving swiftly along. Next up for Kevin McVeigh, here's some Slits, and this is Love und Romance.
Babylon lovers are Babylon lovers. Oh, sweet love and romance. Hey, take something, man, let's dance. Want you with me all the time. You promised April that you're mine. She wants you, I own you. See you later, holiday. She wants you. In a wild crocodile. I'm so happy you're so nice. Kiss, 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 fun, fun life. I'm so glad that you belong to me. Oh my darling, who wants to be free? Together we can reach the stars. Oh yeah, baby, we'll go far. She wants you. Spread your wings and let me come inside. She wants you. In the wild crocodile. I'm so happy you're so nice. Kiss, 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 fun, fun life. Oh, sweet love and romance. I'm so glad we met by chance. Call you every day on the telephone. Break your neck if you ain't home.
We can get married and have a house in the country.
Love's a feeling, and so is stealing. Do you hear me?
I hear you. I'm
so happy you're so nice. Kiss, ready for this? Give it a great big kiss. I'm so happy. So nice. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Fun, fun, live. Live, 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 live.
If this sounds phony, don't say I didn't warn. This place suffocates, and my heart yearns me on. But the one girl you want is waiting right here. But the one girl you want is waiting right here. You spent your life inspiring envy, but not yourself. That's the last thing you told me. I'm back to make amends. So go on, tell all your friends you're just traveling through. But the one girl you want is waiting right here. But the one girl you want is waiting right here. So go on, tell all your friends you're just traveling through. But the one girl you want is waiting right here. But the one girl you want is waiting right here.
Yeah, that was the Thrills with Travelling Through from the 2003 album So Much for the City, and that was a request of Jen Lorraine over there in the States. Hope you're all keeping well, Jen. Before that was the Slits' Love und Romance from the 1979 album Cut. Okay, we're just going to take a quick break from the theme. And this is just a special tribute to Lewis resident Honor Blackman, who died sadly this week. So this is her hit from 1964 with fellow Avengers star Patrick McNee. This is Kinky Boots.
Everybody's going for those kinky boots, kinky boots.
Kinky boots, it's a manly kind of fashion that you borrowed from the roots.
Borrowed from the boots. Kinky boots, fashion magazines, they wear 'em.
And you rush to obey like the women in a harem.
Full length, half length,
Fully fashioned calf length,
brown boots, black boots,
patent leather jack boots,
low boots, high boots.
lovely lanky thigh boots.
We all dig those boots. Everybody's crazy for those kinky boots, kinky boots. Kinky boots.
And whether you're in evening dress or bathing suit,
You wear boots, boots, a kinky boots. There are 20 million women wearing kinky boots, kinky boots.
Puss in boots. Footwear manufacturers are gathering the fruits.
Gathering the fruits. Kinky boots, advertising men say try 'em.
And you all run amok like a flock of sheep to buy 'em.
Sweet girls,
Frumpy little beat girls.
square girls, cool girls,
Sexy little schoolgirls.
maiden aunties,
Naked debutantes.
they all dig those boots. Everybody's rushing for those Russian boots.
Russian boots.
Kinky boots,
Cover up the slender little tender boots.
with kinky, slinky.
Leather is so kinky.
Come and get those kinky boots, boots, kinky boots.
Years ago my heart was set to live. Oh, and I've been trying hard against unbelievable odds. It gets so hard in times like now to hold on. The guns they wait to be stuck by. At my side is God. And there ain't no one going to turn me around. Ain't no one going to turn me around. There's people around who tell you that they know the places where to send you, and it's easy to go. They'll sip you up and dress you down and stand you in a row, but you know you don't have to. You could just say no. And there ain't no one going to turn me around. 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 I've been built up and trusted, broke down and busted. But they'll get theirs and we'll get ours if we can just hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Years ago my heart was set to live. Oh, and I've been trying hard against strong odds. It gets so hard in times like now to hold on. Well, I'll fall if I don't fight, and at my side is God. And there ain't no one going to turn me around. 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 Hold on. Hold on.
from 1972's album number one record. That was Big Star and the Ballad of El Gudu. Is it Gudu? Godu. But anyway, that was requested by Scott O'Brien, so cheers for that one, Scott. And next up, for Lloyd Dickinson, is a bit of The Clash.
London's burning! London's burning! All across the town, all across the night, everybody's driving with forehead light. Black or white, you turn it on your face and new religion. Everybody's sitting round watching television. London's burn, we're bored now. London's burn, down, la 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 la. London's burning, we're bored now. London's burning down, la 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 la. I'm up and down the west side, in and out the light. What a great traffic system, it's so bright. I can't think of a better way to spend the night than speeding around underneath the yellow light. London's burning, we're bored now. London's burning, down, la 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 la. London's burning, we're bored now. London's burning, down, la 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 la. Now I'm in the subway and I'm looking for the flat. This one leads to this block, this one leads to that. Going down through the empty block, looking for a home. I run through the empty stone, cause I'm all alone. London's burning, we're bored now. London's burning, down, la 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 la. London's burning, we're bored now. London's burning, down, la 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 la. Here we are, rock along. We're starting by the way. On your lips, the see the town clock. Everybody 63. With massive repair bill. Got Chelsea. Over there, you see Westbrook Park. They don't want to go this to walk the car. London's burning.
I don't know about London burning with boredom, but I certainly am. It's my fourth week inside now. And yes, I am watching a lot of TV. So anyway, yes, from The Clash's absolutely classic album, The Clash from 1977. And that was especially for Lloyd Dickinson. Cheers for that, Lloyd. And next up for Graham Roberts, a bit of Alabama Free. Now, Graham did actually pick a particular track, but in light of the death of John Prine, another RIP, and I think there's going to be a fair few of those by the time we're done. Yeah, this is from Exile on Cold Harbour Lane, and this is a cover of The Speed of the Sound of Loneliness.
Everybody gotta run sometime now. Come on later, come on early. Come on big when I'm feeling small. Come on straight, come on fucked up. Sometimes it don't come home at all. What in the world has come over me? What in heaven's name have I done? The broken speed and sound of loneliness. I'm out there running just to be on the run. You got a heart that burns with a fever. You got a worried and a jealous mind. So how can a love that lasts forever leave me so damn far behind? Tell me now, what in the world has come over me? What in heaven's name have I done? A broken speed of the sound of loneliness. Out there running just to be on the run. cross that evil line today. I can think about tomorrow. See, I ain't got a word to say. So tell me now, what in the world has come over me? What in the hell's name have I done? A broken speed and sound of loneliness. Out there running just to be on the run. Just to be on the run. Just to be on the run. Lord above, out there running just to be on the run. Sweet goddamn pretty motherfucking country acid house music all night long. Hank Williams on the jukebox, Jack Daniels in your hand, you ain't never going. If you ain't love, he owns your soul, and the barman owns your coat. The lady owns your key, and the only goddamn thing you own is a guilty conscience. Who give a fuck, lots of low. Real hard. And the whiskey flows like the crystal streams they say flow in heaven. And the choir sings as you sink deeper down, deeper down, into the comfort of your own narcolepsy.
Yes, Alabama 3 there, and Speed of the Sound of Loneliness. Was a swear in there, Graham? I don't remember that happening when John Prine duetted with Nancy Griffiths. Anyway, not to worry. And yes, next up for Tony Keane, we've got a bit of Simon & Garfunkel, and this is the title track from their 1964 debut album, Wednesday Morning 3 a.m. I think that was a lorry just crashing into something. Anyway, never mind.
I can hear the soft breathing of the girl that I love as she lies here beside me, asleep with the night, and her hair in a fine mist floats on my pillow, reflecting the glow of the winter moonlight. She is soft, she is warm, but my heart remains heavy, and I watch as her breast gently rise, gently fall. For I know with the first light of dawn I'll be leaving, and tonight will be all I have left to recall. Oh, what have I done? Why have I done it? I've committed a crime, broken the law. For $25 and pieces of silver, I held up and robbed a hard liquor store. My life seems unreal, my crime an illusion, a scene badly written in which I must play. Yet I know as I gaze at my young love beside me, the morning is just a few hours away.
Ah, thanks for that, Tony. Yes, that takes me back to my university days. Well, that heavy drinking, unsafe sex and bad exam results. But there you go. Anyway, and next up for Mild Mannered Max, we've got a bit of Saint Etienne. And this is from their debut album Foxbase Alpha, and Nothing Can Stop Us.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, what you've been waiting for.
I've come a long, long way since the day you walked into my life. You smoothed out all the rough edges with your sweet love and devotion. I was tired of living the life of a fool. I was wondering where I'd gone wrong. But I know it's going to work out fine when I see that look in your eyes.
I've never felt so good. I've never felt so strong. Nothing can stop us now. No, no,
Yeah, nothing can stop us now. Not as people say. That a man who needs a woman is weak. But they're so wrong. Because nobody can hide from love. Do you want to know? Do you want to know something else that's true? Just the touch of your hand. And I know we can make it.
I've never felt so good. I've never felt so strong. Nothing can stop us now. I've never felt so strong. I've never felt so good. Nothing can stop us now.
Yeah, oozing coolness there, and I don't just mean mild-mannered Max. St Etienne with Nothing Can Stop Us, which uses a sampled loop from a Dusty Springfield song, I Can't Wait Until I See My Baby's Face, and that's the kind of flute sound that's on there, and also the audience applauding at the end. And anyway, moving swiftly along, we've almost made the halfway point. What are we up to? About 36 minutes? Oh, Lord. Right, anyway, so for Jill Shatlock, one of my absolute favourites as well, from 1977, from the Jam's debut album, In the City, the title track thereof.
Thank Man, yes, and now you said you bit. And if it don't work, at least it's still tried. In the city, 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 there's 1,000 things I wanna say to you.
OMG. It's Vapour Trails on Radio Lewis.
You're no good, heartbreaker. You're a liar and you're a cheat. And I don't know why I let you do these things to me. My friends keep telling me that you ain't no good. Oh, but they don't know that I'd leave you if I could. I guess I'm uptight and I'm stuck like glue. 'Cause I ain't never loved a man the way that I love you. Some time ago I thought you had run out of fools, but I was so wrong. You got one that you'll never lose. The way you treat me is a shame. How could you hurt me so bad? Baby, you know that I'm the best thing that you ever had. Kiss me once again. Don't you never say that we're through. 'Cause I ain't never loved a man the way that I love you. I can't sleep at night, and I can't eat a bite. I guess I'll never be free since you got your hook in me. Oh, yeah. I ain't never loved a man. I ain't never loved a man, baby. Ain't never had a man that hurt me so bad. No, but this is what I'm gonna do about it. I tell you, I'm gonna
Yeah, and that was Aretha Franklin from the compilation of Choice. That was the track I Never Loved a Man the Way I Loved You. And cheers, Well and Bob. And we've got another one from This Is Soul a bit later on. Next up, we've got the request of Barry Holmes, and this is from Free's debut album in 1969, which was called Ton of Sobs. This is the track I'm a Mover.
Listen, I was born by the river. Just like this river, I've been moving ever since. Ain't got nobody to call my own. You know I've been moving since
the day I was born. Life is a game, yeah, just made for fun. I don't need nobody, you know I don't love no one. Yes, I'm a mover, baby. Now get out of my way. Don't try to stop me now. Following the footpath, one fine day, when I asked the wise man which was the way, he said, follow your heart and look for yourself, and come back and tell me what you have learned. Yes, I'm a mover. Ah, that's right, baby. You know what I mean right now. Yeah. Been gone a long time. Went back and told him I'd found me a wife, love and children, and a real good life. Told him I'd left this happy home, 'cause I need to return to the long winding road. Yes, I'm a mover. Ah, you got it, baby. Now you give it to me. Yes. Woo. Oh, yeah.
From 1969, that was Free and I'm a Mover. And thanks for on Barry. And keeping it on the heavier side of things, here's Vaughan and Shadowland from the 2000 debut album Soldiers and Sailors on Riverside.
It's sunset over Eden, and the garden lights with fire. The headlights wink against the haze, calling out my name. The snake is in the valley, and he whispers soft and sweet. Steals away your innocence, leaves you shivering in the heat. And I send my boys to heaven, won't you save my place? I will laugh at the shadows kiss cold upon my face. I smell rain over the desert, lightning rise up to the sky. I see lovers' names carved in stone, knowing that they're good. And I swear upon my Bible, and I swear upon my gun, that when darkness rails against me, I will put it to the run. And I send my voice to heaven, won't you save my place? sunset over Eden, and the garden lights with fire. The headlights wink against the haze, calling out my name. I send my voice to heaven, won't you set my place? I will take a leap of faith and make my way through Shadowland, disappear into the night for the other side of Shadowland. And if I ever say goodbye, would you wait for me on the other side of Shadowland? There's a serving song that's blowing cold for the long dark night upon myself. I will take a leap of faith. And I will make my way. Disappear into the night. Till you're in my arms and be on my side.
That was Vaughan from 2000 and Shadowland, and that was the request of Kate Keane. Cheers for that one, Kate. I've never heard them before, but that was really good. And apparently Kate was saying that Danny Vaughan, the voice you heard there, is still working and maybe touring shortly. I'm not too sure what shortly means. Probably sometime in the 2030s if we're lucky. Anyway, might as well keep the dark eye makeup on and stuff, because next up is a bit of Susie and the Banshees, and this is especially for Carol Ann Murphy. And from the album The Scream, this is Mirage.
X-ray eyes are safe,
everlasting summer, you can see it fading fast. So you grab a piece of something that you think is gonna last. Well, you wouldn't even know a diamond if you held it in your hand. The things you think are precious, I can't understand. Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? You've been telling me you're a genius since you were 17. In all the time I've known you, I still don't know what you mean. The weekend at the college didn't turn out like you planned. The things that pass for knowledge I can't understand. Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? I spent a lot of money and I spent a lot of time. The trip we made to Hollywood is etched upon my mind. After all the things we've done and seen, you find another man. The things you think are useless, I can't understand. Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine?
Blimey. 3 in a row there. Boy's gone mad, I tell you. Anyway, yes, it's almost like I've got nothing to say, isn't it? Yes, so what did we have there? We had a Mirage from Susie and the Banshees, and that was especially for Carol and Murphy. And then there was Steely Dan in Really in the Years, and that's from their 1972 album Can't Buy a Thrill. And that's especially for Peter Bennell Smith. And actually, I remember many years ago being around Peter's house, and his younger brother, Bogey, played me that album. And he's kind of like, what do you think of that? And I was like, I'd never really heard stuff like that before because I was still very much a mod and stuff. But I was like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, is it? It's absolutely faultless. It's almost perfect, which is kind of how Peter described it himself. But yeah, it's a very good album. And after that, also another very good album from Another Music in a Different Kitchen was the Buzzcocks and Autonomy. And that was especially for Karen Amsden. So anyway, what's up next? Oh yes, is one for Phil Dyson. This is Sisters of Mercy from First and Last and Always in 1985, and the track of the same name. Yes, the sound of Leeds in the mid-80s. Yes, I was there as well. Yes, really did sound like that. Interestingly enough, the Sisters of Mercy had been around for 5 years before that album came out and then released a whole load of singles. But yeah, that's kind of when they hit the big time, as it were. So cheers, Love and Phil. And without much further ado, a bit of Paddy McAloon and Prefab Sprout. And this is from their 1984 debut, Swoon. And this is especially for Sally Robinson. And this is the track Cruel.
Cruel is the gospel that sets us all free, then takes you away from me. There is no Chicago urban blues more heartfelt than my lament for you. I'm a liberal guy, too cool for the macho ache, with a secret tooth for the cherry on the cake, with a pious smile, a smile that changes what I say, while I waste my time in regretting that the days went from perfect to just okay. Lordy, what would I do? Don't call me possessive, but God, if he's smooching with you. As a jealous boy root, the world should be free, but don't you go following suit. My heart is aligned, it couldn't be neutral, I couldn't be that way inclined. It's hard to defend, these feelings, my tup friend. It's cruel, it's cruel, it's cruel, it's crueler than cruel, but cruel is the gospel that sets us all free, then takes you away from me. Should our love be tender and bleed out loud, or be tougher than tough and prouder than proud? If I'm troubled by every folding of your skirt, am I guilty of every male-inflicted hurt? But I don't know how to describe the modern rose when I can't refer to her shape against her clothes with the fever of purple prose. Lordy, what would I do? Don't call me possessive, but God, if he's smooching with you. As a jealous boy root, the world should be free, but don't you go following suit. My heart is aligned, it couldn't be neutral, I couldn't be that way inclined. It's hard to defend, these feelings, my tup friend. It's cruel, it's cruel, it's cruel, it's crueler than cruel, but cruel is the gospel that sets us all free, then takes you away from me. Cruel is the gospel that sets us all free, then takes you away from me. My contribution to urban blues.
Mustang Sally. slow your Mustang down. Oh yeah. You've been running all over town now. Oh, I guess I have to put your flat feet on the ground. When I said that, listen, all you wanna do is ride around Sally. Ride, Sally, ride. All you wanna do is ride around Sally. Ride, Sally, ride. All you wanna do is ride around Sally. Ride, Sally, ride. All you wanna do is ride around Sally. Ride, Sally, ride. One of these early mornings, gonna be wiping your weeping eye. When I said that, look here, I bought you a brand new Mustang, a 1965. Now you come around signifying a woman you don't wanna let me ride. Mustang Sally now, baby. Hold on. Guess you better slow that Mustang down. Hold on. Look, you've been running all over town. Ow! Got to put your flat feet on the ground. When I said now, let me say it one more time, y'all. Now all you wanna do is ride around Sally. Ride, Sally, ride. All you wanna do is ride around Sally.
Wilson Pickett there with Mustang Sally from 1966. And that was the last track of this week's compilation of choice, This Is Soul, as chosen by Bob Laird. So thanks very much for that, Bob. And next week, the compilation of choice has been chosen by Adela Terrell, and that will be the album Shine 8. Remember those? Yeah, all those indie hits on there. Anyway, Adela's picked 3 fantastic tracks from that, which apparently sum up her teenage life. So that's something to look forward to. Anyway, on with the rest of the show. Next up, we've got a touch of the Vapours. Oh, yes, I've had a touch of the Vapours, I can tell you. Yes, from the 1980 album Nuclear Days. Oh, Nuclear Days. Oh, I see what they did there. This is the Vapours and News at 10, and this is especially for Vasco Mendes.
Time's gonna make you a man someday, and you won't wanna go out and play with your friends. Just sit at home and watch News at 10, and the pubs will be closed, and you won't have been with your friends. And if
God, that's years since I've heard that. God, I remember the adverts for that in the music press, because I think that one came out after turning Japanese. Anyway, yeah, cheers for that, Vasco. Brilliant. And yes, what we're up to now, we've got just 3 more songs to go. So next one up is the Ali B moment, and Ali's gone for this one from PJ Harvey's debut album Dry. This is Dress. Yes, Polly Harvey and Dress from the album Dry, especially for Ali B. And yes, Ali actually had that one on our wedding playlist. I think it was quite high up, actually. Yes, I'm sure she did. I remember, I was there. Anyway, next one for the old mate Andy Basil, a bit of that petrol emotion. He said this came on while he was walking the dog the other day. I hope you were both exercising and taking in food as well at the same time, Andy. This is from Manic Pop Frill at A Million Miles Away. Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? That Petrol Emotion and A Million Miles Away from their debut album, Manic Pop Thrill, especially for Andy Basil. Cheers for that, Andy. And so we're coming up to the last song, so just leaves me to say thanks to the sharers and carers. Thanks for everyone that's requested today. Special thanks to Bob Laird for the compilation of choice. And next week, like I say, the compilation of choice is coming from Adela. And also the theme of next week is great intros. So things like I Saw Her Standing There, you know, that 1, 2, 3, 4, which to my mind is one of the best, if not one of the most important intros in British rock and roll. But then again, that's another 7-hour program to explain it. So anyway, gonna leave you with this. This is for Ian Onions, and Ian's gone for some real epic stuff to finish the show with today. So Manic Street Preachers and Motorcycle Emptiness from their debut album Generation Terrorist of 1992. God, it seems so long ago now. Anyway, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next week. Ta-ra.
Culture sucks downwards, atomize loving and feed itself somebody else. Organize yourself for tribal war, hurt, maim, kill, and enslave the gate of war.
Okay, that was the last song. You can fast forward and turn over the tape now.
Radio Lewis. Local community webcasting.